Hello and welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are progressing quite fast. I'm coming down here to work on a rubber tree farm. We have a sulfur one going. I'm going to need rubber for any future advanced circuitry that we're going to have to build. And a nice airplane just went by. So this is the second video I have to do post narration. Again, my microphone, I discovered I had not turned on my microphone amp and it didn't record any audio for videos. So I have to try my hand at post commentary. This is something I've seen other YouTubers do, and they seem to have a lot of practice because they do it quite well. So getting used to this here. So the rubber farm is going to be very, very similar to our sulfur farm. We're going to have one wooden chest for each farm that I'm going to limit down to one stack of seeds for a buffer. And I'm going to use the copy paste feature, shift right click and then shift left click, to paste that limitation on all the chests around. And then let's proceed to inserters. So this process is fairly straightforward. You've seen me do it. The only other difference is we now have a special type of inserter unlocked called the standard, or the long in standard inserter. And that will help kind of compress it down just a little bit so we don't have to space things out and do a lot of underground belts. What that does is pull from 2 tiles away and inserts it just close, just the same tile, just right next to it. So it's like a standard inserter, only it really helps bring material when you have a 2-belt system. So here I place fast inserters and I quickly realize that they're in the wrong spot. They actually need to not be fast inserters, but the inserters I just mentioned, the long in standard. So there are the long in standard inserters. So I'm going to need 9 of them. And so you can tell the long in standard. So he pulls from 2 belts away and puts into the nearby chest. Very, very handy inserter. And then for the material out, for the resin that this farm will produce, we're just going to use the express inserters, which are fine. I'll put the material as fast as possible. That way the farm can be harvested and planted as quickly as possible. So now we just run our belts, 1 up and 1 down, on each row of trees. And I skipped over one, my mouse kind of moved over and I went the wrong direction on a few of them. So this process I've done before on the other farm. So I actually have some seeds ready to go. What I did is I took the few seeds that I had, I planted them, let them grow, and then harvested them through a couple cycles. And that gave me enough seeds to really, start off the tree farm as quickly as possible. One of them doesn't have any seeds, so I steal half and give it to another farm later on. So this is where our material is coming in. So I kind of combine and merge the branches. We're going to again do this similar setup than we have with sulfur. Is we're going to bring the material up, store it in a massive chest as sort of a buffer. I'm going to use the supersized chest this time. Pick up the wrong one. There's the big one. It is a behemoth chest. It can hold a lot of material. It's a 3-sided chest, or a 3-space chest, so you can put a lot of inserters around it, which is very handy. And then the output, and I run out of belts. I gotta kind of run up and grab some belts really quick to finish off this build. Belts are full, so I grab 500 of those, and the undergrounds, which we're going to use a few of here in a minute for the seeds that come back out of the system. So we need some assemblers now. I should have restocked between videos and just grabbed a bunch of material. But I typically record these back to back, so where one stops, the other starts. I dump all the older ones that I had in my inventory out to get converted over. Now I work on finishing up the seed system. So you can see the seed processing gets first dibs on the material that comes back out of the system. And it gets also a buffer chest. And I make a big one accidentally, and then I make another big one accidentally. So I said, screw it, we're just going to use a big one this time. I give it a buffer of 2 and start my inserter process. And I realize I need iron, so I'm going to run up really quick, grab some iron off the belts. One great thing about these super fast belts is the material's coming at you so fast you can just stand there and absorb a lot of material very easily. They're tough to walk on, but great for grabbing material when you need it. So that will pull resin in. This will pull resin from the trees. I realize I don't really need all that space. 3 is usually enough. Then I output the seeds in the same sort of L pattern, and I zip ahead. Then I have to split it for one side, and I underground and split it again. And this allows me to cover everything, and I underground to the next spot. Okay, the belts are sorted. I need to set the crafting to rubber seed. Make sure the inserters come out of the machine properly. And now we just need power. I look at doing a substation, but they just don't cover enough. The big substations are really good. They can cover almost the entire tree farm just with one. So it is a really good substation. It's a pricey one to make, but it's phenomenal. So I sort of try to space these out. Works pretty well. Oh. And I'm gonna build the resin, the furnaces to make the resin. Right there I find the one that doesn't have any, so I steal half and then put it in this one just to boost that up a little bit. The seeds usually plant in a 7x7 pattern, so it uses 49 out of the 50 seeds I put in those first boxes. Now I'm going to work on the furnace layout. And I put four output inserters. And when I build the furnaces, I don't go overboard with the furnaces because the faster furnaces can almost keep up with those inserters. So building a lot of furnaces wouldn't make a difference because you're not able to put the resin on the belt fast enough. So 4 inserters out, 4 or 5 in is usually a good ratio. They can usually keep up, and you can tweak it as your production changes. You can tweak it if you're not producing fast enough. You can add a couple. You can put that big chest has room for 5 more inserters that you can pull out. Your farms wouldn't be able to keep up with that. The tree farms, you would need to expand the tree farms quite a bit. And when we have the rubber, we're going to want to store a lot of it. So I produce another massive chest to store some rubber. And again, I don't kick it on right away. Put a provider in there to prepare ourselves for the logistics system. And I start looking at logistics. Oh, sweet robots. So this research, advanced processing unit, is an immensely long research. As you might have missed, I show it a little later. Each cycle is 200 seconds. And I think there are 400 cycles. So 200 seconds is about 2.5 minutes, roughly. And there are 400 of those. So it takes a while to do. Even with the laboratory bonuses that I have, it still takes a long while. So in the meantime, I want to finish up and create the module boards as the other ingredient that I need for this system. And I do something similar as below. I do a system of 3 or 4. Looking at the ingredients as I go, that's the output to link up to the system. I could have put another space between this, but it really wouldn't have helped. I look at my ingredients, or look at the layout, and I realize that I can bring an ingredient up from the left side. So I rotate all that stuff around. And it's copper, plastic, and tin. So 2 of the ingredients will be in the middle, and the third will be on the outsides of those inserters. Again, that way I can expand the system later if I have to. Oh, the belts, I just fight the belts constantly. I bring that up. This is plastic. So I'm looking around for my other ingredients. Tin I'm looking for, copper I'm looking for. So there's my copper that I found, I brought up earlier. And I can branch off of copper. Whoa. Bring it up as far as I need to here, as far as I can. And linking up copper. And there's a tree in the way. And I'm looking at tin. Tin is the last ingredient. And if I need to, I can expand this process. It's kind of how I build is get everything going, make some room, make sure that there's room for expansion later on if I need to. If I'm researching modules and they're just not being made fast enough. And one nice substation covers everything. Now set up my inserters. And they loaded the plastic so fast I didn't even see it. I had to double check to make sure they actually loaded the plastic. So now, time for tin. And I realize that's plastic. I get going on it and I realize that's not what I need. Right about here. Yep. I'm like, wait a second. They're very similar in color, but the shape is slightly different. So I'm looking at bringing tin up and I find it. And since I need 2 branches, I put a splitter down, bring up both branches. Again, this way I can expand this line if I really need to. Very expandable. And trying to figure out why they're not crafting, I realize they need lung inserters. So we have module boards being made for research. I craft the remaining needed long inserters. So research is fully operational, ready to go when I start to do those research branches. It's going to consume a lot of resources, so I'm waiting before my production is really maxed out. I take a peek at research, see how long this is taking, and then I look, and sure enough, 200 seconds. It is brutal research to have to complete. So 475. It is a tough research. Go up to check to see, make sure everything's still being made. And I head down to the rubber farm to see how our progress has been made. So it looks like we've got resin, which is good. It means everything is building. Seeds are slowly trickling down. The new system processes them much faster than the old. The new assembly machine is just excellent at it. So the trees are doing well. So that's it for this episode. Come back next time and we will continue production.